working out for me. I love that there are important people in important rooms having important conversations about me. I love that people are so excited to give me opportunities, and I am looking forward to fulfilling my purpose through those opportunities. Yes, God. I love getting paid to exist. I love that my mind is worth millions. I love that I don't have to work for money because money is so busy working for me. I love that my energy is expensive and exclusive. I love that my presence is a privilege. I love that I am always in the right place at the right time. I love that the right eyes are always on me. I love that I don't have to chase anything because I attract what's meant for me. I love that money is obsessed with me. I love that life is always working out for me. I love that there are important people in important rooms having important conversations about me. I love that people are so excited to give me opportunities, and I am looking forward to fulfilling my purpose through those opportunities. Yes, God. I love getting paid to exist.
Happy Thursday, Yes, God family. I pray that everyone is having a beautiful, wonderful, miraculous day. And I want to share a little nugget that came this morning to me as I was just navigating life. And I always find it very helpful to make correlations between like real everyday things and spirituality. And I'm so grateful and excited and happy and honored and humbled that I've received the feedback that I'm very good at integrating spirituality that way. And so that people have a really enjoyable time integrating the two. But I want to just talk about something. Yes, limitless energy. Thank you for all the love showing me on TikTok. I would love some love over on Instagram too. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, goodness, innocent 9. Thank you so much. Someone is requesting to be in my live. Okay, I'm going to give it. Okay, just give me one moment. I'll let you in. You have to hopefully be respectful and honorable, or I will then let you out. And I don't think you will. I'm just giving that disclaimer for anyone. But I wanted to say, like, I wake up sometimes to comments from people that are very argumentative and they want to kind of like, you know, go against what I'm saying. And that's fine. That's part of reaching a broader audience, right? That's part of asking God, which I did several months ago. I asked God, like, God, show me what you can do through me. And I'll get back to that. I'm going to put a pin in that, why it's so important to be asking God what we can be shown through and not, God, show me, you know. Happy New Year, beautiful. Happy New Year to Malaysia. Happy New Year and happy belated birthday too. I saw that you recently had a birthday. So just to quickly touch on like the negative trolls and comments, right? I look at everything pretty much as a metaphor of the mind, right? How is the mind, how the mind works. And the other morning I talked about how the mind is like a dog, right? It's like a dog that is just excited, but also scared and kind of like, oh no, you can't do that. Oh, you shouldn't. Oh. And it's very, you know what I'm saying? Out of control. And what most of us have been taught is that our mind is in control and we should listen to the mind and we should feel some type of way about what the mind is telling us. And we should believe the mind and we should believe the thoughts that the mind is trying to bombard us with. And very simply is that, no, we should actually be training the mind. The mind is to be trained by the nervous system, by the heart, by God. And when we are able to reverse that and understand like, oh, my mind is really just a tool and it is where all of my brilliance lives. It's where my personality lives. It's where my sense of humor lives. It's where all of these wonderful things live, but it's also the place that really will try to keep me safe by any means necessary. And for me to try something new or take a risk or step out on faith sometimes received as a risk to my brain. So my brain is going to kind of try to keep me away from that danger of courage. So with that being said, it's so important for us to understand that. And the way that we can start to actually implement that is by practicing the muscle of deep breathing and stillness while the mind has probably maybe caused a reaction in our body, caused us to be anxious, caused us to be fearful, caused us to be concerned and worried about things, right? That is how the mind is currently controlling us. So our role is to, exactly, it creates stories, but we mustn't believe everything we think. Exactly. It creates a whole bunch of stories. Good morning. Happy, I'm about to say happy Sunday, happy Thursday, everyone, and happy 2026. But the mind creates all these stories and creates all these feelings within us, right? And the first step of actually taking back the authority, the inner authority that God has over us, is to first exercise that with our mind and say, you know what? I know what you've said. I know your script. I know that you're trying to help me. I know that, there are lineages and lineages of generational trauma in my DNA that are trying to express themselves through you, but we're actually safe now. We're okay. And God is here and God lives within us too. So it's okay for us to release control, release the reins over to God. And so in action, what that looks like is, thank you so much for tapping over on TikTok. I love y'all so much. Instagram, I would love some taps over there too. But what that looks like is because we have a lot of ideas, right? And we're very brilliant and we're very bright and engaging and creative and, we're amazing, right? Also, sometimes we get so caught up in what our plans are and what our attention is and what our intention is that we make the mistake of trying to control how the outcomes happen in our life, right? Because from our limited perspective, either this is the way it's happened before, this is the way I've seen it happen with other people, this is the way that I think it should happen, this is the way I've gotten results before. So we have a tendency to pigeonhole ourselves into a limited way that something can happen. We think that we know the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. And what reclaiming your power back from your mind is essentially saying, thank you so much for your service. And I love that you're going to continue to be of service to me. You're going to continue to be of service of me. But what's been happening is it's been unbalanced because you're the manager of this company, right? You're the manager of me, but you've been thinking that you're the CEO and you're not the CEO. You're not the one with the bigger vision. The heart is the CEO. God is the CEO. And your job as the manager is to follow and carry out the vision of the CEO, not the other way around. And this is why we experience that internal conflict, that feeling of unfulfillment, that feeling of anxiety. And it's basically a misalignment because, again, we are trying to allow the manager to run the entire company. And the manager's job is not to run the company. The manager's job is to execute the CEO's vision. And now the thing about this metaphor is that sometimes the vision isn't always clear. What the manager's tasks are not always clear up front. I really love that. Heart is God's CEO and the brain is the manager. Yes, girl. Yes. And by the way, I do discuss this in my reality selection masterclass at length. I really go into depth about how this hierarchy has been flipped around and the ways that we can really, really switch it back. So because the mind is the manager and the heart and God is the CEO, again, we've been trying to allow the mind to dictate and run the show and tell God how it needs to allow things to play themselves out. Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? Like, who are we to box God into this narrow thing and say, well, God, I need it. Like I said before, like we treat God like a waiter. Well, I'll have this with no ice, and then I'll have that appetizer, and then I'll have that. And I don't like that. So can you put that on the side? Like, and that's fine for when you're out to eat. But when you are interacting with God and when you are surrendering your life and your will to God's divine purpose for you versus what you believe your purpose is, it really it becomes about outcomes instead of methods. And so instead of trying to tell God my order and what I do and don't like, and that, God already knows me. God knows what my preferences are. God knows what my purpose is. So my only job is to be clear about holding the vision for that outcome that I want. I want to have a full, satiating, wonderful, lovely experience here at dinner. Okay? Maybe it'll be this dish. Maybe it'll be that dish. Maybe it'll be that. Maybe I'll see a friend outside and we'll get up and go to another restaurant. You see what I'm saying? So being open to the possibilities based on the outcome that you're looking for, not necessarily the micro steps that you believe are going to get you to what you want. So it requires us to kind of zoom out and look at, what is it that I truly want? Because all of these circumstances and situations are just my mind trying to control things and kind of trying to control the who, what, where, when, and why. And that may actually be limiting me more than it's helping me. Yes, God. And thank you so much continuing to tap, tap, tap and show love over on TikTok. I love y'all so much. I would love to see some love over on Instagram. Let's be I'm holding myself back because I have a kind of a dry personality and I'm jokey and I also don't want to offend anybody. But show me some love on Instagram, y'all. Happy Thursday. Happy 2026. So the way that we can practically, by the way, yes, God, the way that we can practically begin to change that authority from, okay, I'm going to try to, I use one platform. Sometimes I skip this one too. Yes, God. Is first of all to be aware of what's happening. Is first of all to say, wow, I've been really stressing myself out and exhausting myself trying to dictate who, what, where, when, and why is in my life. That's the very first step, is becoming aware that you're doing it. And then it is changing your posture and your position and saying, you know what, God? It's a surrendering. It's a humbling yourself, right? And it's, and typically managers don't like to humble themselves. They like to pretend they are the CEOs of the company, which is what the mind does. But it's a humbling of saying, you know what? I don't know how this is going to happen. As a matter of fact, I have no clue. I have ideas about the way I think it's going to happen based on my experiences, based on what I see with other people, based on what I've seen in myself in the past, but I really don't have a clue. And I'm also really, really open and available to the infinite possibilities that are there for me. That's step one, awareness and possibility. The next part is a lot easier said than done, but it is actually saying, God, show me, right? We sometimes, a lot of us have been taught in religion or through other programming that we are supposed to fear God. God is this big omnipotent man in the sky that's exacting his judgment, and you're right and you're wrong, and I agree with you, but I don't agree with you, and listen, God is right here within us. When we judge ourselves, we are sinning. When we are looking at ourselves as anything other than perfect, whole, complete, and fulfilled, we are sinning because we are putting meaning to circumstances in life that don't mean shit. Yes, God, there are infinite possibilities. I love your content. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and frequency. Thank you so much for saying that. And thank y'all for tapping that live. We're almost to 5,000 likes on TikTok. But to say like, okay, so God, I know that I've been trying to control things. I know that I have, been not feeling fulfilled with the way things are because my perspective is that, this means something about me. The fact that I'm this age and this, insert the blank. The fact that I'm this and this, insert the blank, right? We create all these logical equations about what our circumstances mean about us, when in reality our circumstances actually mean nothing about us. Yes, God, I love that. I've been incorporating your teachings into my prayers. Yes, God, I love that. And so what we do is we say, okay, God, you know what? I'm aware of what outcomes I desire. I would like for you, God, to please show me how that I can be a vessel to others in service. Please show me the ways that I have inside of me to be of service to the world. Okay? Because also we have a tendency to kind of be very self-absorbed and self-centered, especially in patriarchy, especially in the States. It's very like, oh, well, I have this and I have that and I got this bag and I have this car and I have this house and all this meaning and importance being placed on material things. Whole time your spirit is dead. Whole time you're a horrible person, and that's, so we're already putting our focus on something that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And this is why you find people who sometimes have amassed material wealth that are still miserable, that are still not content, that are still not satisfied. And it's because they're putting meaning on everything outside of themselves versus their internal condition and state. And the most radical and divine thing that you can do as in your human conceptual mind is to accept yourself as you are, and to view yourself as already successful, already whole, already perfect, already complete, already fulfilled, not based on anything external, but based on the fact that I'm here existing. I won the race. I won that race. There was a race and there was a lot of little spermies running, and I won it. And not only did I win it, I cracked the egg and I was formed in my mother's womb, and now I'm here existing. That in and of itself makes me worthy. It makes me whole. It makes me complete. It makes me all that is. I am already all with the one because I exist. Before all of these other society and standards and, patriarchy and whatever these things try to tell us, oh, well, yeah, you exist, but you got to have this and you got to have this and you got to have that and you don't have this and you boop, 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 and it's all nonsense. All of it is nonsense. So one of the most radical things you could do is say, God, you know what? I know I've been trying to control things. I'm going to surrender that control and I'm going to be open to you leading the way. I'm not going to allow my mind and my logic and my plans and my projects and whatever I've been working on to take precedence over what you tell me is my next step. And this is how I am here having this conversation with you, is because I decided to say, God, I know that I have this wellness brand. I know that I've helped women release fibroids, heal postpartum, heal chronic BV, experience fertility, release soul ties. I know that I have all these accolades and all of these things about the ways that I've helped women, but God, it's not what I'm necessarily super passionate about anymore. Yes, I love it. Yes, I still create it. And yes, that is still very much a part of my brand, but I'm feeling passionate about something else. And that's where we have to let go of that fear and have the courage to move forward, because God speaks to us through what we're passionate about. I'm going to say that one more time. God speaks to us through what we are passionate about. The things that we are passionate about are the things that we should be taking inspired action on, not the things that the mind tells us, well, but that's not, how are you going to make money off of that? Well, how are you going to, well, that doesn't make any sense, because that's what the mind's job is. Well, that doesn't, well, but what about this? But you've been doing this for the last 20 years, so why would you just let that go? That's a sure thing. This is what the mind is designed to do. So surrendering to God takes courage, because you have to be willing to step in a different direction sometimes. You have to be willing to go with that thought that pops in your mind that says, hey, you know what? I should make a video about this real quick. And it goes, hey, you know what? I'm going to turn this camera on while I'm praying right now because I'm emotional and I'm ready to surrender to you, God. And I'm just going to record this and post it, even in this emotional state. And me making that decision to record something and post it when I was in an emotional state became the thing that made me go viral, which then opened up this space for me to come and do what I love and what I'm super passionate about, which is remembering that we're all one with God, remembering that our identity is divine. Because when we remember that our identity is divine, energetically, we release needing or desiring things to go a certain way. That doesn't mean we release the intention for a certain outcome, but the way that outcome unfolds itself in our life, we release needing to be in control of that. And that can be scary. That can be scary for people. So being willing to have the courage to say, you know what, God, this is scary. You know, people might talk shit. They might, you know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. But I feel passionate about it. I feel excited about it. I'm going to say this prayer, so I'm going to record it. And so insert whatever that means for you. Because we have to understand also the law of compensation, which is that you are compensated based on the value that you provide. And sometimes in order for us to provide value, we have to get creative and we have to get curious and we have to understand that naturally as human beings, we have influence over people. So whoever it is that we're being and whatever it is that we're embodying, we are influencing others in that same way. Which is, again, why it's so important to be mindful of who am I being in this moment? Am I letting my heart, am I letting my mind, am I letting the manager run the company, or am I letting the heart run the company and forcing the mind to acquiesce? Okay, so it's a very different approach versus it's heart-led versus mind-led, God-led versus mind-led, God-led versus mind-led. And it's very easy to know if you're being mind-led because, number one, the mind likes to do this. It likes to argue. It likes to go back and forth. It likes to banter. God is not bantering with you. God is a very still, steady presence that just gives you the command. Yes, make that video. Yes, stop at that coffee shop. Yes, go home that way instead of that way. Yes, reach out to this person. Yes, go and speak to that stranger. Okay, that's the difference between the God energy and the mind. It's like, well, you don't know. What if they say they don't want to talk to you? Well, why would I check on them? They haven't called me first. Well, why would I? Well, all that scary shit, that's the mind. All that scary stuff is the mind. So being willing to say, you know what, God, I'm surrendering and I'm allowing you to order my steps because my intention is that divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. I don't need to get all detailed about what that looks like because I have no clue, really, actually. And secondly, I want to leave the heavy lifting to you, God. I'll let you show me the who, what, where, when, and why. My only job is to be very clear about who I am and what type of life and what type of nervous system I want to experience in that life. Yes, it's fear versus faith. Exactly. And so the thing is, because a lot of us grew up in dysregulated circumstances and environments, sometimes it's difficult for us to hear, okay, is this God or is this not God? Right? And so the way that we can address that is by giving ourselves permission to sit down and become familiar with God. And how we do that is just simply by sitting in silence and taking deep breaths. Because it's there that we get the opportunity to witness the tricks of the mind and how the mind is like, well, you got to get up. You got to clean the house. Well, you got to put the laundry in the dryer. Well, what about that email? You never responded to it. And the mind is going to do anything it can to try and get you up out of that stillness and out of that silence and prompt you to go and do. But the thing is, it's not about what you're doing. It's more about who are you being while you're doing it. Are you doing it because you need something to happen, or are you doing it because you're in a regulated state and this is what you're inspired to do right now? Two very different energies. Okay. Yes, I used to do that and felt so free. I'm trying to get back to that freedom, trusting God to give me the income to move in freedom again. Yes, God. And so thank you for that comment. So the way that we can start to trust God for income is to trust ourselves to listen when God moves us. Because the way that our financial freedom comes is through our service to other people. So really get creative and really get courageous about looking at yourself and saying, how can I be of service to other people? And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get up and go live on social media. Maybe it means I'm going to be of service to this person that I see that needs some help in the grocery store. I'm going to be of service to a connection that I've had with someone for a long time and we're not really on great terms. I'm going to be of service by reaching out and apologizing or reaching out and asking if we can have a conversation. Okay, service is not always necessarily speaking to the masses, but a lot of times it is. A lot of times it is speaking to the masses because that is the most impactful way that you can serve. So being very curious about how you can serve. And let me give you a hint and actually the answer. The way in which you can serve the best is by doing the things that move you and that you are passionate about and that are exciting for you and that you feel enthusiastic about. Because what typically happens is once you identify those things, here comes the mind. No, but you can't do, but what about... And so now you have effectively allowed your mind to prevent you from your divine service to this world. I hope this is making sense. Yes, God family. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and invite some folks in. Hey, IG, I would love some tiggity tap taps. During summer, I used to go to the woods for walks with my puppy. Then I saw a basket in which there was some vegetables. A word was written, serve yourself. I felt so much love. Yes, God, yes. And see, so whoever put that basket there was being of service, right? They're saying, hey, I have an abundance of this. I have an abundance of vegetables in my garden. I have an abundance of this. And so I'm going to offer it to the world to be of service, right? So when we can start to frame everything as, how can this be of service? How can I be of service? Sometimes being of service means going through all the shit you got in your house and letting go of things that are no longer serving you and allowing them to go and serve somebody else. You know, so this is the framework that we should be keeping, especially when we want to live a surrendered life to God and we want to be moving in alignment with God's purpose for our life. Is, excuse me, how can this be of service? How can it be? Some people are great storytellers. Some people have so many experiences that they've had that are so bizarre and ironic, and other people need to hear that. You know, it doesn't always necessarily. And the other thing also to keep in mind is that you don't need to know how you're going to get paid from your service. Let me say that again. You don't need to know how you're going to get paid from your service. Trust and believe when you start following that path of listening to God's guidance, it will be revealed to you how you're going to get paid for the service. So this does require a lot of trust and a lot of faith and a lot of surrender. Again, because as human beings, we're control freaks. We have been taught that things need to go like this, and this is what it means to be successful, and this is the story, and this is the narrative, and this is what's normal. And so because of that, we have injected our illusion of control on things, and that's actually the thing that makes us miserable. Good morning, beautiful goddess. South Carolina in the house. Enjoy your day. Yes, God. Happy Thursday. And North Carolina in the house right here. So hey, neighbor, where's everybody else in from? I'm so curious. By the way, y'all, thank you, God. We had so many people join the Quantum Prayer Circle yesterday. And so I just want to make a note of that and also make sure everyone here knows about the Quantum Prayer Circle that we do. North Carolina, what's up? I'm from Rochester, New York, but I reside in North Carolina. You probably could tell. New York, what's up, New York? What part of New York? DC, hey, DC. The DMV, yes, God. I'm going up to New York City in February, and I'm super excited about it, honey, because I got all my Asian spas, my head treatments, my facials, my massages, baby. I got them all. I'm excited about this trip. You hear me? I'm excited. Hey, you're in North Carolina. Okay, Limitless, Queens, New York. Hey, that's what's up. Yep, I'm actually, some of the places I'm going to be going are over in Flushing too. But also, I did want to say, like, we have tons of France. Hey, France, oui. Yes, God. I've only been to, no, that's not true. I've been to Paris. I've been to Cannes. I've been to, did I go to Monaco? I think it was just Cannes. No, it was Nice. Johannesburg, South Africa. Yes, God. Okay, so we global. You see what I'm saying? And so this is the beauty of the internet. Come to Limojis. Okay, I gotta look that up and see what that's about. See what that's talking about, because I'm actually starting to plan my my travel for 2026. So I'm looking at different places I want to go experience. But anyways, y'all. The Quantum Prayer Circle, so many people joined. I run a school community. It's only $44 a month. And we have daily prayers. So when you wake up in the morning to a prayer, my only ask in the community is that when you first wake up in the morning, when you touch your phone, because hopefully it's not immediately when you roll over while you're still laying there. Hopefully you're taking a few moments to take some deep breaths, to orient yourself and to train your mind and to acknowledge God and to focus on God and not to focus on all of your problems, and to say, God, thank you so much for waking me up. Thank you for this bed that's been holding me all night, God. Thank you for this warmth I've been able to feel all night, God. Thank you for protecting me from the rain and all the elements, God. Thank you for the bathroom that's within walking distance, God. Thank you for my limbs that work, God, that allow me to be mobile, God. Okay, this is how we should be waking up. We should be waking up with a lot of gratitude, a lot of awareness, and a lot of reverence. And then when it's time to pick up our phone, the first thing I want you to do is to open the school app and listen to the daily prayer, because this is also how we begin to train the manager and make the manager understand that it is not the CEO. Is we go in immediately before the manager has time to get its coffee and get all riled up and get all, you gotta do this and what about that? Before the manager gets riled up, you harness that manager. And you say, I know you're used to running the show, but right now we're going to focus on gratitude. Right now we're going to focus on humility. Right now we're going to be focused on service. Right now we're going to be focused on listening to what excites me, listening for the inspired action that God is trying to communicate with me. So you wake up, you listen to your prayer, you listen to your weekly self-concept rampage, and then you go about your day. And it doesn't require a whole lot. Facebook. You said Facebook? I'm not sure what you mean. What I'm discussing right now is the Quantum Prayer Circle, which is my school community. That's the one that's $44 a month. And that's the one that we had like 10 people join yesterday. And I was so excited for everybody. I'm like, yes, God. And if you want to find that, you can, you know where to find it, to tap the link in my bio. But yeah, and then so you get daily prayers, you get a weekly self-concept rampage, which we're about to listen to in just a moment. And then I do a bi-weekly live masterclass every other Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. And then there's a lot of other perks too, actually. There are a lot of my previous courses on healing, on forgiveness, on the power of imagination, on switching to an abundant mindset, on releasing guilt. So it's value packed. And that for me is the way that God has showed me, hey, you can serve in this way, Megan. And I never would have discovered this unless I had the courage to turn my camera on one day and record my active surrendering and prayer to God. And now it's the thing that I'm known for. And guess what? It doesn't feel like work to me, because this is what I love to do. This is what I would do anyways. I could sit here and talk about this stuff all day for free. And that's how you know what your purpose is tied to. What is the thing that you're so passionate and excited about that you could literally sit there and talk about it all day for free? Whatever that thing is the direction you need to be going in, baby. And that can scare the shit out of people because they're like, but how would that make me money? But how? All you need to ask yourself is, how can I serve the most people with what I'm excited about? And because it's 2026 and because we are in the middle of a technological revolution, we now have access to broadcast ourselves to the world. And so what an amazing way to be of service. And also the thing I wanted to touch on is that I asked God not what God could do for me. I asked God that was a program slip. I asked what God could do through me. It's not about what God is doing for me. It's about what God is doing through us. Do this thing through me, because if you are the vessel that God is working through, you are an automatic benefactor. Also, you're opening yourself up to being aware of the different ways in which you can provide service to others. Because again, patriarchal societal concepts will try and tell us, it's what about you? But what kind of car do you have? But what about you? It's very individual. It's very, well, I'm this, and as long as me and mine are good, I'm straight. I don't care about nobody else. I don't care about nobody else. And it's like, really? That sounds miserable. Yeah, that sounds like a miserable way to live. But we've been programmed to perceive life that way. So saying, God, I know that I have asked you for things specifically for myself. And I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong about asking for things for yourself. The issue comes in where the concern is only yourself. Because again, we are all here to be of service to the world. God planted a very specific purpose and purposes, because our purposes change depending on the season that we're in. But God has planted purpose within all of us. It is our responsibility to allow that purpose to reveal itself. And sometimes the way that we can allow our purpose to reveal itself is by simply learning how to shut the fuck up and stop trying to control every damn thing. Yes, God. Okay, so God, what can you do through me? Those program slips happen, sis. Exactly. Yeah, they do. What were you talking about when I said he? Or whatever. Yeah, they do. They come through, But God, thank you for and I think that was one of the, here, matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all the prayer that I did. And again, transparently, I was in a very emotional state. I had finally let go of some connections that I knew were not in alignment with me anymore. And that was fucking scary as hell. And I was exhausted. I was tired of trying to figure it out. I was tired of being responsible for figuring out the who, what, where, when, and why. And then it finally dawned on me like, bitch, you're not supposed to. You're minding God's business again. And I've told you about that. Let me see if I can find, I got to scroll down so much. And because it's something that I love to do and that I would do, there's no limit to the content now. Like I literally do this all day long anyways. So the fact that it is allowing me to embody and be an example for people and give, awareness to how powerful the mind is and how powerful it is when we surrender our ego to God and we allow God to be the CEO instead of trying to make our mind the CEO, because the mind doesn't know sugar, honey, iced tea. The mind knows what it knows, which is limiting. The mind knows what it knows. There's so much beyond that. Okay, let's see. And you know what else I can tell you? Like, there's certain prayers that when I pray them, I know they're going to go viral. Like, it's already, it's almost like God doesn't argue, but like sometimes I know when it's time to pray or do a self-concept rampage, I feel the pressure from God. Because also God is not, when God speaks to us, it's time to do it now. It's not time to, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, I'll think about it. Okay, well, let me see if it makes sense to me. No, do it now. Do it now. Do it right now. And that's how you begin to receive guidance from God. So there's certain times when I have a prayer to say, or I have, you know what I'm saying, something coming up. And I'm like, and I try to do it. I'm like, okay, I'll do it in a minute. God's like, no, you're going to do it right now. Because I have the words and I have the energy and I have the stuff for you right now. And so I need you to move right now, Megan. Not when you feel more comfortable about moving. Okay, y'all. I'm looking for this prayer. Where did you go? I don't know. Oh, it was before this. Okay, I'm tripping. It was before that. It was before that. It was before that. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Here it is. Here it goes right here. 352K views on this one. Okay, so this is literally you're about to watch when I surrendered. And most people probably don't know this because you might not know me, but when I was praying this prayer, I was on the verge of tears. I was literally like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm tired of trying to be in control. It's not working. I'm not feeling the way I want to feel. Hey, Jetro, happy Thursday. Okay, so this is the prayer that went viral, y'all. Hold on, let me start it again.
Today, show me what good can come through me. Show me what miracles can come through me. Show me what prosperity can come through me. Show me what blessings can come through me. Show me how I can be a blessing to the world, God. Show me how I can embody love to the world today, God. Show me how I can embody peace, God. Show me how I can embody brilliance. Show me how that I can use my gifts in ways and create in ways that I haven't yet thought of, God. Thank you, God, for always being willing to use me as a vessel, God, as long as I'm opening myself up to be used, God. Thank you for allowing me to put my ego to the side today, God, so that love can prevail.
Yes, God. Okay, I don't know why.
He is obsessed with me. I love that life is always working out for me. I love
so that is a snapshot of a moment where God nudged me and said, you know what, you should record this and you should post it. And I was like, I don't want people to see me pray. I don't, and it was like, actually, I really don't give a damn. Being a channel of creativity, service, and growth. Yes, God. Exactly. So let's start identifying as a channel, as a vessel. Because we have been programmed again to identify as this one person that has all of these problems. And, I got to solve my problems. And it's like being of service is like, okay, you know what? How can I solve other people's problems? Maybe if I focus on solving other people's problems, my problems will be solved in turn. What a concept. What a concept. Instead of focusing on solving my problems, how about if I start to solve other people's problems? Because if I solve other people's problems, perhaps my problems will be taken care of in that. Yes, God. So, and anyways, you can solve your problems and there's on the same God time. Exactly. And that's the beauty of God, because God is a multiplier, right? There's stories about the five loaves of bread and the 2 fish, right? It's multiplicative. And that's how you know whether it's your ego or God. God is multiplicative, similar to a woman, just saying. But God is multiplicative in that when God is involved, it's constantly growing. It's never stopping growing. So for example, like this work that I'm doing, right? This will live beyond me. When I pass away at 125 years old, my work will still exist. My work will be discovered and found and will be of service to people that that I won't even be alive in the same time frame as. And this is why it's so important to open up your perspective to, instead of solving my problems, instead of trying to have service just for myself, how can I share? How can I share this service? How can I share this love that radiates from within me, because I am one with the divine. I am one with God. How can that happen, God? I'm open to you showing me the ways that can happen. God is multiplicative, just like women. Just saying, I needed to hear that. Yes, God. Girl, you already know. It's true. It's true. Women are multiplicative in nature. It's just how we were designed. So, I hope that this has resonated with someone. I hope that someone is feeling inspired. Someone is feeling clear. Someone is feeling at peace. Someone is feeling excited and enthusiastic about the ways in which they can become of service and the ways in which they can become a vessel for God's love and light. Thank you so much for tapping and giving me all this love on TikTok. Just to say, I'm going to take us out with the self-concept rampage. And just to say again, inside our quantum prayer circle, this is giving you the opportunity every single day to listen to a prayer that is affirmative, because we're not begging God for things. We're not at God, can you please do this? And can you please, God, thank you for this outcome. Thank you for that outcome. It's not, because the thing is, the difference is we're begging and we're being desperate. Begging is desperation. We don't need to beg God for anything. God has already promised us, right? God has made us a promise. And in order for us to be the benefactor of God's promise, we have to be the person that God designed us to be. That is how we receive the promises of God. We can't receive the promises of God when we're sitting in fear, and when we're sitting in worrying about what other people think, and while we're sitting in judgment of others and judgment of ourselves. We have to be willing to open ourselves up. Thank you for following your passion and listening and obeying God. Yes, God, thank you so much. And thank you for being here. And thank you again for all this love on TikTok and Instagram. Instagram you know how Instagram do. But just to say, the Quantum Prayer Circle, $44 a month. You get a daily prayer. You get a weekly self-concept rampage. You get bi-weekly master classes. You get all these previous courses that I've done throughout my journey, throughout my personal and spiritual development journey. You get, also there's a workshop coming up called the True New Year, because it's not today. It's actually the spring equinox. So on 2/22, with plenty of time before the spring equinox, I'm going to be doing a workshop on how we can really tap in to resetting our nervous system, because who we identify as has a lot to do with our nervous system. And so that's a big part of my work. And so that workshop on 2/22 is going to be $111, unless you're inside the Quantum Prayer Circle, and there will be no cost to the Prayer Circle members. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and we'll listen to the self-concept rampage a few times, and then we will start our day.
I love getting paid to exist. I love that my mind is worth millions. I love that I don't have to work for money because money is so busy working for me. I love that my energy is expensive and exclusive. I love that my presence is a privilege. I love that I am always in the right place at the right time. I love that the right eyes are always on me. I love that I don't have to chase anything because I attract what's meant for me. I love that money is obsessed with me. I love that life is always working out for me. I love that there are important people in important rooms having important conversations about me. I love that people are so excited to give me opportunities, and I am looking forward to fulfilling my purpose through those opportunities. Yes, God. I love getting paid to exist. I love that my mind is worth millions. I love that I don't have to work for money because money is so busy working for me. I love that my energy is expensive and exclusive. I love that my presence is a privilege. I love that I am always in the right place at the right time. I love that the right eyes are always on me. I love that I don't have to chase anything because I attract what's meant for me. I love that money is obsessed with me. I love that life is always working out for me. I love that there are important people in important rooms having important conversations about me. I love that people are so excited to give me opportunities, and I am looking forward to fulfilling my purpose through those opportunities. Yes, God. I love getting paid to exist. I love that my mind is worth millions. I love that I don't have to work for money because money is so busy working for me. I love that my energy is expensive and exclusive. I love that my presence is a privilege. I love that I am always in the right place at the right time. I love that the right eyes are always on me. I love that I don't have to chase anything because I attract what's meant for me. I love that money is obsessed with me. I love that life is always working out for me. I love that there are important people in important rooms having important conversations about me. I love that people are so excited to give me opportunities, and I am looking forward to fulfilling my purpose through those opportunities.
Yes, God.
Yes, God.
Yes, God.
I love getting paid to exist. I love that my mind is worth millions. I love that I don't have to work for money because money is so busy working for me. I love that my energy is expensive and exclusive. I love that my presence is a privilege. I love that I am always in the right place at the right time. I love that the right eyes are always on me. I love that I don't have to chase anything because I attract what's meant for me. I love that money is obsessed with me. I love that life is always working out for me. I love that there are important people in important rooms having important conversations about me. I love that people are so excited to give me opportunities, and I am looking forward to fulfilling my purpose through those opportunities. Yes, God. I love getting paid to exist. I love that my mind is worth millions. I love that I don't have to work for money because
And you know
money
what I'm
is
gonna
so
do real
busy
quick?
working for me.
Yes, God. Before I head out, I will go ahead and let's listen to today's prayer. Let's listen to the first prayer of 2026. Yes, God. Okay. People really like this prayer. Maybe I should pray this one. Should I play the one for today, or should I play the one from a couple days ago that's got all this traction right now inside of the school community? What do we think, y'all? What do we think? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and play 1-1. I'm going to go with my first mind.
Dear God, we are thanking you for allowing us to experience this new calendar year, God. This 2026 year, God. This is the year where we are no longer needing to explain ourselves, God. Thank you for allowing us to enter into this year and this day without declarations, without vows, without placing our worth on what we promise to do next, God. Thank you for reminding us that we do not need to step into this new year asking for permission, but standing in the authority of who we already are, God, which is one with you, God. God, we may have had a habit of approaching beginnings as if they were evaluations, God. Moments where we must prove ourselves, God, where we must practice discipline, God. And today we are releasing that posture, God. We are thanking you for reminding us that we do not need to earn our place in what is unfolding, God, and that we are not on trial as this year begins. And not only do we not need to earn our place, God, we only need to just remember that we are already worthy, God. And when we can let go of control and let go of outcomes and let go of how we think things should unfold, God, that is when you reveal your divine master plan to us, God. Thank you for helping us feel our feet on the ground, God. Thank you for allowing us to feel grounded in our nervous systems, God. Thank you for allowing us to have a sense of stability, God. And thank you for reminding us that sovereignty is not in control. It is self-possession, God, and that we are allowed to stand fully in ourselves without rushing forward or shrinking back, but being still and knowing in this present moment that we are already healthy, we are already happy, we are already loved and loving, we are already prosperous, God. Yes, God.
So that is an example of the daily prayer that you receive every single morning inside the quantum prayer circle. And regardless, it is my intention and my desire that you remember who you are. You remember that you're divine. You remember that you are already whole. You're already valuable. You're already perfect. You're already complete. You don't need an external circumstance. You don't need a certain amount of money. You don't need a certain relationship to tell you that. It is your responsibility to tell yourself that until you finally accept and understand that. And this is why repetition is so important, because all of the negative things that we believe about ourselves were installed through repetition. So if we want to program in something new about ourselves and something new about our identity, we must use repetition as well. Yes, God. All right, y'all. I love you. Thank you so much for spending a few moments with me this morning. I hope that you found something valuable. I hope that I was able to serve you in whatever way that you needed to be served. I would love to see you inside the Quantum Prayer Circle. I would love to see you outside in nature today, taking a walk, letting the sun hit your face, even if it's cold outside. Bundle up. God likes to speak to people on walks. God likes to speak to us when we are open to listen. So it's very necessary sometimes to just drown everything out. Put the phone down, turn the TV off, turn the computer off, go outside, take a walk, and send love. Send love. Thank you, God, for this coat that I'm putting on. Thank you, God, for my beautiful legs and my feet that work. Thank you, God, for this driveway that I'm able to drive my car and put it somewhere safe. Thank you, God, for these roads that have lines in the middle that allow people to stay and keep people to stay safe. Thank you for the stop signs, God, that direct traffic so that no one is harmed, God. Thank you for these cars passing by. I pray that you would bless them. I pray that you would bless them abundantly with peace, good health, prosperity, and fulfillment of their own purpose. Start being of service. Start wishing the things that you wish for yourself onto other people. It'll change your life. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Have a beautiful, beautiful first day of 2026. And we will meet back here again tomorrow morning, because that's what God told me I need to do, is just get up like you normally do your normal routine, but turn the camera on. And so that's what I'm doing. Yep, gratitude is the pathway to abundance. Yes, God. Yes, and gratitude not just verbalized, but gratitude embodied. Gratitude in cleaning up after yourself. Gratitude in having difficult conversations. Gratitude in repairing relationships. Gratitude in all the things. All right, y'all. I love you so much. This replay will be available. Also, I am uploading all of these replays over on my YouTube channel, Yes God Wellness. So feel free to go over there and peruse at your leisure, and go ahead and check that out, because they're all going to be there. Plus, I have content there from like 7 years, so you can really see my progression and my journey. Yes, gratitude. I need to speak with you. Okay. You can slide in my DM, or if you need to speak with me extensively, I do offer one-on-one perspective alchemy sessions. So I look forward to speaking with you. And yes, God. All right, y'all.